Radiologik is radio automation and playout software that comes in two applications. One is Radiologik DJ for the playout, and the other is Radiologik Scheduler for the full automation and many other tasks. Let's take a look at Radiologik DJ here. We're looking right now at the tab Program Queue, which is the main program queue. Here the tracks are in queue to play in the top players. The next to play is right here in queue in player 1. You can move tracks around just by dragging them. You can even move more than one track around at a time or discontiguous tracks around. You can add tracks by dragging them from the Finder or even from music. We can take any track here in music and we can put this right at the top here. And it goes to the top player. We can also install helper Apple scripts to have the ability to add tracks right from music as we're browsing music. We're set up to do this in music right now, but you could also do it in Swinzian. We'll install these scripts. We'll head over to the music app, and in here we get 3 Apple scripts added to music for the selection. So we could add this track here to, let's say, the top of the queue, and it will go into player 1 there. We could add it to just above the track we have selected here, and it gets added there. Another place where we can add tracks to the program queue is from the library. We can do our own searching right in Radiologik DJ itself. And what's nice about this is you can just load a subset of your collection that you want to use. So here I'm going to pick from a playlist that has a little over 700 tracks. We'll import all of them. You can see they're importing down here. And then we have the ability to sort and search by any of these. We could sort by length. We could do a search for city. And then we can program that track either to the top or bottom from here. And you can program multiple tracks. We'll clear the search, or you could just shuffle them. And then take a group of tracks and program them to the bottom, for instance. So that's the program queue. We also have a spot list where you can load tracks into the third player. The third player is sometimes needed by the program queue, but you can arbitrarily load any of these tracks here. These can be imported from a playlist here. Also in the program queue, you can import a playlist directly to the program queue as well. Another place we can play out from is the Pallet. And all of these are independent players. They have one audio output, which we'll look at in a moment, and you can have up to 50 sets of these. So I have this one with a few IDs here. These are colored by their Finder labels or tags. And when you play these, you can actually have it duck down the main content. So we'll take one that is maybe about this one here, maybe this glide here. And we have the duck button on. We can play that right over. This can also be assigned to be done with logos. And logos are basically where you would assign where you want your palette buttons to actually play, programmed already for a long track, such as a mix. You can also pop out the palette to its own window, which you could then put on a different display if you so choose. Or it can be tacked onto the side of the window or bottom of the Radiologik DJ window if you like. Depending on the orientation, the buttons will rearrange themselves. In this orientation, they work well to go with the Airlight mixer. I untack this and then I move it. We'll see that it will rearrange the buttons. These are all MIDI assignable. And then you just close it and it goes back to its original location here. Another playout source we can have is Stream Receive. You can set up Stream Receive profiles here, These can be scheduled and integrated with the program to start and stop as needed. They can be icecast and shoutcast and video streams. They can even be static files on a web server. And Radiologik has quite a few audio output options. We go look at General and then Audio I/O here. There are multiple outputs in case you want to send to a multi-channel mixer. There's a dedicated output for the pallet, a dedicated output for off-air, a line pass-through that can be turned on and off with automation integrated into the program. There are keyboard assignable controls. You can also use MIDI control surfaces. The USB here is primarily for DNR mixers. And you can use game inputs, which is nice for interfaces that you can buy on the web to actually wire up contacts to an actual mixing console, for instance. You can change the appearance, publishing, uploading of metadata and files, artwork. There's a duck on and off in case you don't have a mixer to do that with. And there's a studio timer, which you can configure to be a target time. In this case, if it's getting close to 5:30 now, we can say we want our studio timer to end at 6. You can hit start. The studio timer is there. If you click the studio timer, you get a large window, which you could put on a different display. There are 2 modes for Radiologik DJ. One is auto on and auto off. Right now, auto is on. If I turn auto off, players that are red are manual fire. You can set the colors of these players and the meters here in appearance. With auto off, we still have the ability to be semi-auto. I can set a set of tracks to be auto, and then it will stop, and the next one will need to be fired by the user. Any track in the program queue can have track actions. These actions can be an interrupt, checking the ID button, turning the line in on or off, changing a preference set, running an Apple script, starting a stream, and starting the studio timer. All of these track actions can be attached to script lines to come from Scheduler. There are several places where you can off-air preview audio. One is the library player. If you're searching for a track and you want to preview it, the library player uses the off-air output defined in the settings. Also, everywhere you can select a track in any of the lists, you can open up the track properties. You can do that by double-clicking any track. Once that property player is open, you can set the performance of how this can play. All of these properties can be also analyzed by Scheduler for very good performance according to your tastes with track prep and normalize there as well. But I can go anywhere here and choose any track, and I can play it. Even in the history, you can go back and check something that played in the history. Another place you can preview tracks is the one that is next in queue. The little headphone button here allows you to preview this track just before it plays. And that will be off air. In the program queue, items that are bold are ones that are published. You can have it so certain items are not published. For instance, time announcements will not be published by default. Intros, outros, and combos will not be published by default. But let's say you have other station elements, such as these two, which are little sweeps or jingles. I can take a part of it and then open up Publishing Exceptions, which is Command E. And what I can do here is I can take, this is all part of a title here, so what I'll do is I'll add to my exceptions here to exclude RL Trance as the title, hit apply, and you'll see that the two station elements there are no longer in bold, so they will not publish. And that is Radiologik DJ, a radio player equally fit for live and automation with many players, audio outputs, publishing outlets, and plenty of hardware control. Next, we'll take a look at Scheduler.